right.
Yeah. To all that is joining, welcome to another collaborative conversation. My very special guest today is Tiffany Lassiter, and I am so grateful for you being here. And I'm excited about this conversation.
I'm
Um,
excited too.
so, if anyone would like to post a comment, you can do that at the bottom. If you have questions as we're going through, we'll be mindful to look at that. If you just want to say, hey, that you're here, that's awesome as well. And okay, your brother done already logged in.
Oh, now I'm really nervous.
He said, let's go, Tip. There it is.
Yes.
And we also have Jacqueline Holloman.
Okay. Oh
Good
yeah. Hey
evening. All right, awesome. So we're about to get started.
Jackie.
All right, Tiffany, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah. My name is Tiffany, and I am the leader of an evangelistic ministry called Be Strong, Be Bold, Be Fearless. And honestly, Penny, Patricia, those are not just words.
Mm-hmm.
When people ask me like, how do you sum up in a few words, like what is the ministry all about? And it really is, the core of it is about embracing courage and confronting fear.
Mm-hmm.
And there are three focus areas that we hone in on: is in disciple and equip, encourage and building, and engaging community. And this is what I mean when I say that. Like, we have partners out of the country in Africa, and we travel there like
Uh-huh.
every other year, and then we partner with communities statewide, and
Mm-hmm.
it looks like this: we host gatherings, and we partner with the leaders in those communities hosting these gatherings with those three focus areas in mind: discipling and equipping, encouraging and building, and engaging the people that we have the honor to meet. And when I tell you, we have wrapped up our 2025 travels, and I have met some of the most beautiful people in my travels. And this is what I've learned: we are all different, um, but yet the same. And
Yeah.
it has been, I haven't, I'm entering into a pause in a couple of weeks of resting and reflecting and really
Mm-hmm.
like seeking the Lord about what are the next steps. I'm just so grateful. There is so much for myself, for my team and I to grasp, because what happened in these towns and what happened in Africa recently, it's just going to take us a while to really digest all that we saw. And it's really has been a transformative journey for me and the team.
Okay, awesome. So can
Mhm.
you say what led you to that? And
Are
how
you
long
even?
have you been doing it? I know you've been in ministry for a many a year. so, but what led you to kind of branch off in this particular area? And if you can you turn up your volume just a little bit? I don't
Sure,
know.
sure.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
just want to make
Can-
sure that everybody
Yeah.
hears you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been told I speak soft. I don't believe that, but people say I speak very soft. I'm like, really? um, but can you hear me now? And is it okay now?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I
Okay,
could hear you
okay,
before. I just wanted to make sure that
okay.
everything was clear for everyone else. I'm not sure whether
Yeah.
other people could tell the difference or not, but I definitely could tell now that you put the volume up, just a
Okay.
little bit
Okay. Cool.
clearer. So,
Listen, life, Latricia, life led me to this point. Walking through some things and encountering things and lessons that I have learned, and God taking
hmm
me through, it has brought me to this point. And it's a good
hmm
question, because when I looked at the words, it was January the 4th, 20, 2020, January the 4th, 2020. Yeah. and I woke up out of my sleep at 1:40 a.m., literally sleeping on the couch, and
Mhm.
the Lord like literally woke me up. And these were the words that he spoke to me. Listen, I don't need confirmation. I know what I heard. He said, be
Right.
strong. He said, be strong, be bold, be fearless.
Mhm.
And when he gave me those words, I had
Mhm.
so many questions, but he didn't reveal all of it at once. I had to
Right.
walk it out. I had to walk it out piece by piece. But later on in this journey, in this particular journey of leading this organization,
Mhm.
traveling near and far, he began to reveal to me that these are not just words,
Mhm.
that this is really literally what I've been called to. It's the life that I have been living, because what I may not have shared with you is I struggled privately with fear. And
Mhm.
I'm talking about phobias, and I mean this paralyzing fear that kept me from moving forward in life. There are
Mhm.
things that I was experiencing or holding in that my own family didn't know about. I was
Mhm.
good at masking it.
Mhm.
Hmm. I was good at pretending, but there were a
Mhm.
lot, and my family, my cousins, they would see different things, like like maybe I'm afraid of heights, or maybe I'm afraid of this, but the
Mhm.
root and the depth of
Mhm.
that fear, they had no
Right.
idea. And in this journey of walking with the Lord, it is what I realize is that He calls us to face this head on.
Mhm.
But for so long, I was running away from the things I was afraid of. And so I arrived at this point in my life,
Mhm.
um, because he helped me not just navigate it, but confront the things in my life that I was afraid of facing. And when I stepped into this freedom, that
Uh,
it was a game changer. Now, listen, when I stepped into this freedom, oh, it was
uh-huh.
oh. When I realized that like fear is not of God, when I start
Mhm.
facing the challenges, I felt like I was, and not even trying, I felt like I was now on this mission to help
Mhm.
others
Yeah.
understand the gift of freedom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that that is like something that a lot of us need, because there are times that I know when that comes up in me.
Mhm.
And the mantra that I do is there's no fear in God. And so like
Mm,
that's the thing that I just kind of remind myself, that there's no fear in God. And I may have to keep saying it, because I think, as you were saying, talking about originally, with the mask. And I think that
mhm,
we all have, at various times worn the mask because of what's considered good or proper or right, or what
mhm,
have you, especially as women too, and I think men
mhm.
have to wear their own mask as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but just that pressure to be a particular way in order for everything to be okay. And not doing anything wrong or not making mistakes. But that's
Mhm,
actually when all of the great lessons happen, is when you,
mhm.
just kind of live and learn some things as well. And being
Yeah, yeah.
open. Yeah.
Mhm,
Go ahead.
mhm. One of the first things that the Lord showed me, and I've learned from embracing and walking this out, that's the key. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there are no shortcuts to this thing, right?
Right.
Um, was like, I realized, as I begin to walk this out, that there were so many times that um, I missed out on a lot of things because of fear.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I remember like accomplishing, not accomplishing, but like walking with the Lord and talking with Him throughout this process. And one of the things I had to repent for was like, I remember saying to the Lord, like, why did it take so long for me to arrive here?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that there was freedom on the other side of this. I
Mm-hmm.
honestly, truly was telling someone the other day that now I truly understand. when scripture says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good."
Mm-hmm.
Because once I experienced freedom and walked in that freedom, and let me just make it clear for anyone who's watching now or will watch later. This was an intentional process.
Mm-hmm.
This was rooted in intentionality. I
Mm-hmm.
could not confront anything I wasn't willing to identify.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to identify and confess those things that were holding me back,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't confront anything that you're not willing
Right.
to address.
Right.
And it was a very painful process. It was a very painful process, looking back at your life and being vulnerable with yourself when you're so used to putting up a front,
Mm-hmm.
when you're so used to wearing the mask, and that the spirit of comparison and the just all those things. And for me, everyone is different, but for me, this my season of dealing with Tiffany expanded for 3 years
Mm-hmm.
before I got to this place. Just
Mm-hmm.
3 years of dealing with things in my life um, that I would run away from.
And now on the other side.
Oh, listen, when I
Uh-huh.
realized the beauty on the other side of this,
Mm-hmm.
when I when I when he showed me the beauty on the other side of the pain, it literally is beauty for ashes. So my brother and those that know me know that I'm very passionate. And my passion comes from experiencing this freedom, Patricia.
Mm-hmm.
When when you've walked through things,
Yes.
and you've experienced things, and listen, it's not something that I read in a book. It's
Right.
what I lived. I lived
Mm-hmm.
in bondage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this was my life prior to now. Did
Right.
I accomplish things? Absolutely. I was
Mm-hmm.
functional in my I was functional and I was accomplishing things,
Uh-huh.
but the lessons and the things that I have learned from just being who God has called Tiffany to be
Mm-hmm.
has just been priceless. He's given me tools to help me mature me emotionally, spiritually, and to move forward, because I didn't realize I was stuck for so long. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Wow. So if you were a book, what would the title of your book be and why?
Nothing is wasted.
Okay.
Nothing is wasted.
Uh-huh.
Not one drop of it. Every tear that I have cried, um, every pain that I had to address in my life,
Mm-hmm.
um, even the bad decisions that I made,
Mm-hmm.
he loved me through that. And the
Right.
lessons that I have learned from that, man, nothing is wasted. Not
Mm-hmm.
one drop of our lives will be wasted. He uses it all for his glory. I mean, every bit of it, every bit
Right.
of it. What we were ashamed of, or what many are
Mm-hmm.
ashamed of, he'll use it for
Mm-hmm.
his glory.
Mm-hmm.
So my book will be called Nothing is Wasted. I don't know if that will be the second or third book, but it will be one of them.
And who so we'll be looking out for the book too. So, or the second or third or what
Yes,
have you. So we're gonna be
yes,
looking out for
yes.
all of them.
Yeah.
Um, so can you think of something or someone that over a short period of time has had a tremendous impact on your life?
This is an emotional one for me, so I might get a little choked up. There are many people in my life that have, throughout each chapter, there are many people, and I can name, but the one who stands out the most is my beloved grandfather. I mean, I'm getting a little choked up on this one.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer with me. But let me tell you, like, being an adult now, I so appreciate his life. Like I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate his life. He loved people well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best I can sum it up. He just loved people well. And he is no longer here with us.
Mm-hmm.
He has gone into his, he's eternal rest. But his fruit, he is still producing. His life is still producing. I'm meeting
Mm-hmm.
people from generations. I'm
Mm-hmm.
meeting people that I was a little girl. I was a baby. I didn't even know these people. And now that I'm adult and I'm traveling and I'm meeting people and some of these people, recently I went to my hometown, where basically I, was raised, and I met people there from generations of families who literally testified of my grandfather's
Mm-hmm.
life, and part
Mm-hmm.
of their testimony was how he loved them and that they are
Right.
still feasting from his love. Like I met people who he led to Christ. I mean, these are generations of people who are still
Mm-hmm.
remembering the life that he lived. And he has taught me that the legacy will not be in his name, is not in his
Mm-hmm.
name. The legacy of my grandfather is the legacy of faith, how he loved God and how he loved people. And that alone for me and what God has called me into, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm called to messy places,
Mm-hmm.
to walk along with people in the part of their life that is not glamorous,
Right.
and and loving them right where they are. I'm learning to love them right where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and how he loved his community and beyond, is something that I'll take with me and cherish with me, as I walk what God has called me out to do.
And obviously, people can see that in you. So, um, even though you may not say it's in the name, it's in the name, it's in the proof, it's in the pudding, it's in
Yeah, yeah,
it's, you know, that you have
yeah,
made that choice too, and been
mhm,
impacted and have had similar impact on others,
yeah, yeah.
so, yeah, we honor those that have come
Yes,
before us,
we
that
do.
have led those lives that, give
Yeah.
us something to, reach back and get some love, get some light, and bring it
Hmm.
forward. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, what qualities do you find important in your friendships or relationships that, you've
That's
learned
a
over
good
time?
question. Yeah. I appreciate those that the Lord has sent me that are trustworthy and consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you asked me to be on this call, um, it's easy for us to, like, I honestly don't know who's watching, right? I have no idea who's on the call other than the people that you named. But when people invite me, it is easy for me to, or I'll say this, it's easy for you to try to be something that you're not, right? And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I love about the friendships and the relationship that the Lord has gifted me with, that no matter whether I knew them in my younger years or now, that I believe that each chapter of my life, the Lord left me with it. And I appreciate the people that have entered my life and just reminded me to be my authentic self.
Nice.
That it's okay to be who God has called me to be. And because of those relationships, those strategic relationships,
Mm-hmm.
um, the result of that is I am on this call and I'm okay with being me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be anybody else but Tiffany. And so
Right.
if I sound a little goofy, it's fine. If I laugh, it's fine. Like those friendships and those relationships um,
Mm-hmm.
have created a space for me, whether I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world or I feel like I'm somewhere in the valley, muddy, and
Mm-hmm.
there's no judgment there. I walk away knowing that I can trust them with the issues of my heart.
Mhm.
And so those relationships throughout the years and those relationships now um, are consistent, trustworthy friendships and relationships that have matured me, challenged me, held me accountable.
Mhm.
Um, and you're seeing the result of that tonight.
Awesome. And for I think since you said you can't see who's here, Ajane, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Oh my
And
goodness.
A Joy Productions also joined as well.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah. And they've commented and been loving what you're saying and how you put
Oh,
it, and you got a high five, a yes.
oh, so sweet.
Yeah, so
I have to say, Audrey is in a whole nother state and a young woman that I've had the joy to disciple and um, she just represent a community of women that
mhm.
I get the privilege and the honor to be in relationship with. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Nice. Yes. So, what would you tell your younger self about how to best prepare for the future?
Don't rush the process.
Mm,
She looked for shortcuts. She looked for shortcuts and just don't rush the process. Embrace it, no matter how hard it is.
mhm.
There are things that you need in the process. The
Yes.
process the process matures you. The
Mhm.
process can the process even strengthens you for the
Mhm.
journey ahead. And I look back at the younger Tiffany and she wanted things she wanted things her way and right away,
Mhm.
and so that's one of the things I will remind her is just, embrace the process, trust God in the process. Don't try to
Mhm.
rush around things. It'll happen. It'll happen
Mm.
in the right moment, in the right time.
Yeah. So, what would you say? Because I think from when I was born up until now, everything has gotten more rushed.
Mm.
Expectations have gotten more rushed. Deadlines are more rushed. When you should have this, that, and the other. I think the pace has gone up a lot, over the years. What would you recommend, kind of knowing that everything is like almost, as they say, microwave-ish, the expectations with fast, fast. I know you're saying like trust the process and everything, but can you give like maybe a little bit more insight about, when everything is so, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. Like, what would you say to people in regards to that as well?
We are living in a fast pace. Woo, everything is fighting for our attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Um, even at church, we are being reminded of our focus, our spiritual
Mm-hmm.
disciplines. And so when I say
Mm-hmm.
embrace the process, part of why the younger Tiffany wanted things quickly is
Mm-hmm.
because she compared her life with everybody else
Mm-hmm.
and felt like she was always behind. I've always felt like I was always behind.
Mm-hmm.
In this day and time, my encouragement for those that feel like just rushing everything is it really is, and this is this is one of the things that with Be Fearless that we encourage those that we get to disciple that life is about intentionality.
Mm-hmm.
Even with my own daughter, like just taking your eyes off of what everyone else is doing
Mm-hmm.
and really, really focusing your attention on what moves you, what
Mm-hmm.
drives you. And for me as a believer, my answer will always be the Lord is my priority, right? And so,
Mhm.
like, what does he desire for Tiffany? What
Mhm.
does what is he calling me to? And in
Mhm.
order for me to really focus in on that, I steal away a lot. And we're talking about that even in church, like, what are our rhythms? What rhythms are we creating in our life? Right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, because for me, rushing the process comes, I believe, and there's probably many other answers, but rushing the process for me is always looking at what everyone else is doing and comparing your life against theirs. But
Mhm.
for me as a believer, it is taking my eyes off of that and
Mhm.
focusing on who he says I am, what he
Mhm.
calls me to do, and my relationship with him becomes priority. And
Mhm.
when I do that, something happens to my heart, something happens to my focus. I'm
Mhm.
now focusing on what he has called me to instead of comparing myself with the
Mhm.
world. Does that make sense?
It does. It reminds me of a pastor from a church that I attended, and one of the things she would always say is like, "How does God want to express itself through you?"
Ah, yeah.
Like
Mhm.
how does God want to express Himself? But it would take, that time of being focused and connecting to remember, like how do I get to express? How do I get to be an example? How do I get to
Mhm.
show others how God moves? Because they can
That's
see
good.
it in me, or see,
Mhm.
Him move through what you're doing and how you're blessing others and how you are being bold and how you are being fearless, and
Mhm.
moving in that way. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. What kind
The
of
question
life,
is,
Yeah.
the question is, how do we see God in our daily life? How
Mhm.
do we see Him in our daily life? In order to
Mhm.
see Him, we got to slow down.
Right.
So then, like, how do we slow down? Like practical things, like how do we slow down? And that will look
Mhm.
different for each one of us. For me, one practical way is taking walks.
Mhm.
Going outside, taking walks, and in
Mhm.
that walking, I'm focusing my attention on my breathing, my
Mhm.
mind shifts. Something happens. Something
Def
really happens when
Yeah.
we slow down. Like that,
Right.
when we slow down and take our eyes off of just what is going on in the comparison. Someone told me recently, I like gardening. I see Jesus, which is crazy. I see Jesus when I'm planting my flowers. I was like, what? Like just the
Mhm.
beauty of
Yeah.
slowing down. There's beauty in slowing down. And one of the
Mhm.
things that I had issues with as a young woman is I thought busyness looked like I was like,
Mm.
okay, if I'm busy, then
Right.
I am doing things for the Lord. And then he shifted. The Lord destroyed my thinking. He was like, hold on, hold
Like
on.
that ain't it.
Busyness? I did not call you to busyness.
Right.
And honestly, I thought I want to do great things for the Lord. I got to do
Mhm.
this. I got to do it this way and this way. And when he
Right.
shifted, he reminded me that he did not call me to a lifestyle of busyness.
Mhm.
He called me to a lifestyle of purpose.
Right.
It's what he desires to
Yes.
do, how he
Mhm.
wants to move, and
Mhm.
I shape my life after that, not vice versa.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then the second thing was when he reminded me through someone, and I knew it was him. He was like, I am not interested in you doing great things. I thought,
Mm.
wait a minute, like I want to do great things for you, great
Yeah.
exploits, for
Yeah.
the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
And this is what he man, he shifted everything. He said, I am more interested in you surrendering so that I can accomplish what I want to accomplish through you. And
Mhm.
I realized that those two things work together, and I haven't been the same ever since. And so
Mhm.
it is, how do I see Christ in my
Mhm.
daily
Mhm.
life, and what does a surrendered life look like daily?
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Because it's always better than we ever expected once we get
Oh,
to that part.
Yes.
Once we get through
Yes.
that part, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So, what do you think people would be surprised to know about you?
I'm actually I'm actually pretty shy, and people don't think that, but I am.
Uh
I
huh.
like to. I'm a I'm a homebody. If
Uh huh.
there are times where I don't want to leave the house, sometimes I could just
Mhm.
stay in the house forever. It takes a
Mhm.
lot when I'm doing things. It does take a lot. Social battery can be on zero when you know.
Mhm.
Um, if I could live in a cave and be by myself, I probably would. um, people don't know that about me. I am pretty shy, but people, I think when people like when I speak or when I do things,
Mhm.
people see that side when there's a microphone in your hand or you're traveling, you're doing these things. But yeah, yeah, I do have my shy tendencies.
um, I'm seeing some of the comments, and it's of course your brother who is not. He's like she shy. I nah.
He said what?
He has several different things. He was like she first. He said nah. Then he said she, and then she said she. Then he said shy, and then he has like the eyeballs looking like, "Are you kidding me?"
You see what I'm saying? They don't
Yes.
believe me.
And
Oh, oh, so sorry.
that's
So sorry.
but
Go
what
ahead.
that's okay. What I would say is you can be shy and still have some extroverted tendencies. So
Yes, yes. That's
because I
exactly.
think yeah, and I think one of the qualities that I've noticed about you that will probably make you not appear shy is the way that you interact with people and how open, calm, supportive, and engaging that you just have a natural tendency of being. So
Oh, wow.
that comes out all the time. So it wouldn't look like, you being shy because you naturally have care and concern for other people. So if
Mm,
somebody's coming in, you're naturally going to speak because that's who you are.
mhm.
So you're
Yeah,
naturally
yeah.
gonna try to make people feel good in whatever space that they're in. So that
Mhm.
doesn't look like you being shy, but you can still
Yeah,
be shy. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Yes. Thank you, Doc. Get him straight. Everyone on this call, you do know Latricia is a licensed counselor. She's
Well,
so
Jack,
you're go ahead.
no, I was just saying, Jacqueline said that you were quiet in school, so we do have
See?
that.
See? There you go, Antoine. Yes. Thank you,
Oh,
Jacqueline.
yeah. So, but you can show up a certain way, but it doesn't mean that,
Yeah.
like it doesn't have a energetic cost to it. Like you
Mhm,
said, there's sometimes it takes a lot more energy to do things, and
mhm,
usually when people are can be extroverted but are introverted naturally, then
mhm.
it takes a little bit longer to recharge after
Yeah.
speaking engagements or being around people or any of that.
Mhm.
That it just takes a minute.
It does. It
Hmm.
does. After each like gathering, it takes me about 2 or 3 weeks to
Yeah.
kind of just kind of recharge a little bit.
Yeah, because it takes a lot,
Mhm.
when you're present.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jacqueline said, "You're welcome." So, and I'm like, I won't say that that was a mask, but I think we all do sometimes present certain ways or um, behave in certain manners, and not necessarily mask oriented, but like I said, certain things about you are still you. So
Mhm,
even with
mhm.
you being shy, you still show up. And I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like sometimes I think a lot of people have moved through, like, would nobody have known, like you said, that you were
Mhm,
kind of stuck with fear because you
mhm.
didn't present that you were. And so I think that
Yeah.
there's, oftentimes where people may see or perceive, and it's not like we're not going through the movements or what have you, but
Yeah.
people don't know how much energy it took for you to do the movements.
Mm, mhm.
because
Absolutely.
it may seem easy, or it may seem like you're always have been fearless,
Yeah.
but no one knows, like, in those moments when you're at home, like, "Ooh, I got to get it together." What I'll, like, kind of the
Yeah.
talk and the
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else, and all of the prayers to kind of get you to these other spaces prior
That's good.
to, being on the other side.
Well, I can tell you that just if I just focus on 2025, I mean, I could talk about 2024, but 2025, meeting these women, brothers and sisters. But my
Mhm.
focus right now, I'll speak, like to the women. Just traveling from different states and just meeting so many beautiful women. I will tell you, I do feel the love of God for these women, for these people.
Mhm.
There is a love I cannot explain. When I
Mhm.
see women worship, when I see the people worship, when I see them vulnerable, that like and they're being vulnerable in that moment and transparency, and I see the love that's happening in that room, when I see
Mhm.
sisters loving on one another and encouraging one another and praying for one another, there is something that happens to me that I know that goes beyond Tiffany. That I feel like I get
Mhm.
a glimpse, Latricia. I
Mhm.
feel like honestly, because someone asked me, when you go to these gatherings, like what do you feel in that moment? I had to really think about like, and the best way I can explain it is I feel like God gives me a glimpse of how he feels towards his people. And I am
Mhm.
overcome. I'm getting even emotional even now. I
Mhm.
become like Tiffany is no more in that moment.
Right.
I feel like she is consumed with the love of God. He's opened his heart and giving her a glimpse of his thoughts towards his people.
Mhm.
And I I am overcome with love for people that I don't even know. I want
Mhm.
what's best for them, like and
Mhm.
it's this is a journey that honestly I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. And I mean that wholeheartedly, all jokes aside.
Mhm.
Loving on his people
Mhm.
and seeing what happens when they just totally open up their hearts to him is something that
Mhm.
I will take with me into the day he called me home. Like it is something
Mhm.
I just cannot, it's indescribable really.
Yeah. So you can't put in words.
I can't put it in words.
Mhm. So what would you say motivates you?
Uh, um so I'm a person of ideation. I have a whole bunch of ideas. Those
Mhm.
ideas rise up when something creative catches my eye.
Mhm.
So it whether it the creativity flows through me or someone else, but
Mhm.
creativity sparks me.
Mhm.
I went last weekend to a dance concert at a college here,
Uh-huh.
and it was a dance troupe, a huge
Mhm.
dance troupe, and I went because one of our youth at the church, she's a dancer, she's in college, so I went with her
Mhm.
mom to support her. I've never seen her dance, so you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
Mhm.
like support her, and I'm telling you, like I'm in that audience, and people around me are. The audience is quiet, but you hear chatter here and there. I was in a trance.
Mhm.
The as they're dancing and as they're doing all of these beautiful moves and storytelling, because dancing is a
Mhm.
is a powerful storytelling tool, right?
Right.
And so I am literally at 51 years old, I'm in this college dance, and the creativity that's coming off the stage is igniting creativity in me, and in
You.
that moment I felt like I was in a trance.
Uh-huh.
And what happened in that moment was ideation, the process of ideas. I am now creating in my head, not necessarily
Mhm.
like creating a dance, because I dance as
Right.
well, but I am thinking about things for 2026, and I mean like just
Mhm.
creativity. And I think someone was trying to talk to me, but I was so in this trance. Creativity sparks something in me. Storytelling
Yes.
sparks something in me. And
Mhm.
so I look for ways to give myself that space to flow. And sometimes
Mhm.
it comes literally me going outside, putting my headphones on, listening to
Mhm.
some music. By the time I'm walking, I have the idea for 2026. I mean, you know,
Right. Mhm.
so it doesn't necessarily have, I don't have to necessarily be the one that's creating. It could be, I don't know, my brother doing something
Mhm.
and I'm looking at what he's doing. And next thing you
Mhm.
know, I got an idea for something. I mean, it's just,
Right. Right. Yeah.
yeah.
There is
And
the
I
synergy
just
with it.
believe,
Yeah.
I think that's how we're all connected, kind of, you
Mhm.
know.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely happens for me sometimes as well, where you
Oh,
can just see a thing and it moves you, and then all of a
mhm,
sudden you're
mhm.
like, oh, and this and this and this, but it has nothing to do with what's going on there or what they're doing, but you like have
Yeah.
all of these other
Yeah.
ideas, you
Listen.
know, because there is
Yeah.
a certain energy, I think, with that that
Hmm,
sparks
hmm.
and allows you to feel away. You know, you can get
Yeah.
engulfed and, like you said, or go in trance, or you know,
Hmm,
something about just the energy of feeling when people allow themselves to be open. It
hmm,
reminds me of a time that my daughter was young, and I don't
hmm.
even know if she remembers it, but she had an opportunity to dance for Michael Beckwith, you know, way, way back in the day. And
Okay.
so, because they came and, you know, and she was one of the dancers or whatever, and
Yeah.
she was so full afterwards, but she was so full because that was a way that she felt God. Like she was like, I felt God while she was dancing.
Yes.
And
Hmm,
and
hmm.
so but she was just so like crying and just full, but it was like a good full. And so it's like when you have that thing, when you allow that vibration or that
Hmm,
energy and you allow yourself to just kind of be taken away with whatever the thing is, you're able to feel God in different ways. And then it,
hmm,
you know, I think sparks all of the other, you know, creative
hmm,
things of like how
hmm,
once again you can allow God to move through you to do the things, you know?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, you think about the Lord. God is a masterful creator,
Right.
and he knows how to speak our language. He knows
Mm-hmm.
he knows how to speak to you, and he knows how to speak to me. He knows, and
Mm-hmm.
he uses these creative ways of getting our attention,
Mm-hmm.
helping us to produce. And of course, for the believer, like, you know, what we produce gives, you know, the goal is to give glory to his name. And so it goes back to what we said earlier, like how do we see Jesus in all of this? You know, I see
Mm-hmm.
Jesus in creativity, I see Jesus in
Mm-hmm.
dance. You know,
Mm-hmm.
someone asked me a while back, you know, when were you first introduced to the Lord? Well, I said, well, one of the ways he would speak to me would be through dance. And they threw me through dance. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
he used dance to, as a little
Mm-hmm.
girl, used dance. And he was
Mm-hmm.
drawing me closer. That was my first encounter with him. And so he's a
Mm-hmm.
creative God, and he knows how to get our attention, you know, in these
Right.
creative ways. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says I was looking at the sky, and I was looking at the cloud, and I felt God. I said, I believe it. You don't have to prove it. I
Right.
believe it, you know. So yeah.
Right. Yes. Is there anything that you feel that people tend to misunderstand about you?
Tell Antoine do not comment in the I'm just you be quiet, Antoine, if you're still in here. Nah, no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking with you. I don't, you know, I am intense. I am.
Mhm.
I really am. And I think those that, you know, have walked with me in some way have seen intensity. That intensity is simply passion, you
Mhm.
know. And I think for years that intensity has been misunderstood, right?
Mhm.
I'm very passionate about things,
Mhm.
and so when I'm passionate about things, I can become intensely focused. It may look like
Mhm.
I'm blocking everybody out, and just depends on, if you don't know me, you may think,
Mhm.
why is she so intense? You know, especially
Right.
when I'm working on things, and
Mhm.
or I have a vision about something. Then I become intensely focused to carry out that vision. right?
Right.
It's important for me to block out all distractions, to block out all
Mhm.
these things. And if you don't know me, you may think, well, she's giving me the cold shoulder. No, that's me like really intensifying,
Mhm.
things because I'm trying to, I feel like I'm giving birth to something,
Right.
and
Mhm.
it takes all of my energy to give birth to something. That's how I feel. Yeah.
And and that's a true thing because I think when you are creating and you are focused, you don't want to be distracted during those times because you don't want to
Mhm.
lose some of the things that you're
Mhm.
getting.
Yeah.
I know there are some times where I'm like, oh, I know that I should probably have a notepad by my bed all the time, but when I
Yes.
don't, it's
Yeah.
like I wake up or you have a thought, but then you lose it. So you don't ever want
Hmm.
to like lose the stuff or lose the momentum or what have you when you're in those
Hmm.
kind of creative
Hmm.
spaces. And I would
Hmm.
just say that, people learn
Yeah.
and they learn that
Hmm.
it's okay for them too.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
It's okay that sometimes you have to, seclude or what have you and be single focused
Hmm.
at times for the things to come to fruition in the way that they're supposed to.
Yeah. Well, I've learned. Um, uh, my pastor says clarity is kindness, right? And so what
Hmm.
as in my maybe previous years I may not have communicated that well. I just kind of go into lock mode. Everybody else like,
Oh.
just lock mode. I don't know you're existing. I'm here. You're hey Tiffany,
Uh-huh.
why haven't you picked up? I don't have time. Hang up. I just like,
Uh-huh.
I'm locked in. Whereas I've matured, as a
Hmm.
person. And so now just communicating to people, that I know, and hey, listen,
Hmm.
I'm gonna be gone for a while. I'm gonna, there's something that I need to do. So
Right.
let me just let you know. Whereas, I used to just lock in and, but
And nobody
now
knew, and
just,
so people were
and
worried.
nobody knew. So it was like, she's giving me the cold shoulder. She's
Yeah.
gone missing. Is she alive? That type of thing. But I mean, I used to be, listen, it was, but now it's
Uh,
just understanding how everybody, communicates and process things. And so it's
hmm.
a simple communicating, right? Healthy
Yeah.
communication. Part of that is also maturing, right? So just
Hmm.
communicating to people, this is what I'm going to be doing for a couple of weeks. And so, don't, this is where I am.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
don't hear from me, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So, what would you say that you're the most proud of or the most grateful for?
Um, this makes me happy. You remember Ajane, the name that you mentioned on the call?
Hmm.
It's people like
Yes.
her. It's people like
Uh-huh.
her that are on this call tonight. You don't know her story. I do. And
Hmm.
so um, the people that I get to meet, Jacqueline on this call, she was part of the gathering
Hmm.
several months ago. And in that gathering of 100 and plus women, it was a lot
Hmm.
of women, but we shared the most intimate space, right? You know, there's this sacred and intimate moments that we're sharing
Hmm.
spiritually. And she's up here tonight. I'm grateful for
Hmm.
connections and people that I've met in my journey. Um, and stuff like this happens. I'm doing an interview with you. They show
Hmm.
up, and it just
Hmm.
reminds me just why I do what I do and how
Right.
blessed that I get to do it and how grateful I am for the people that I get to meet. Ajane, I think is in Detroit, you know,
Oh, I'm from
and
Detroit. Yay.
yeah,
Hey.
I think Ajane, you let me know if I'm because there's so many women on that call that's from different states.
Yeah.
I always try to get, but Ajane, you let me know if I'm not if I'm. But I think she's from Detroit, and
Uh-huh.
but here she is on a Monday night on the call and
Hmm.
supporting me. And, I just
Right.
appreciate, Jacqueline I went to high school with, and she's on the
Uh-huh.
call tonight. I just appreciate, I'm the older I get and the more I walk with God, I'm appreciating
Hmm.
the simple things in life. And that's,
Hmm.
just appreciating people. Yeah.
I always say that you have the greatest appreciation for the things you can't buy.
Ah, that's good.
I think those are the
Mhm.
things that like just hit you. is all of the stuff you can't buy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. So,
Relationships, yeah, are
mhm.
priceless for sure. No, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just about to ask, what do you do to assist you with overcoming challenges?
Listen, I used to isolate. The old
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany used to isolate. Surround myself with people that's going to hold me accountable. My
Okay.
brother's on the call, and I know Antoine and I joke a lot, as far as brother and
Mm-hmm.
sister, but he's my pastor. I need people in my life that's going to hold me accountable. I cannot do this life alone. Point blank.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to put it. You need people in your life that's
Mm-hmm.
going to hold you accountable. That's going to love you through some
Mm-hmm.
stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to love you through some stuff. Um, I have cried on the many days with my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and he has seen me at my lowest. And
Mm-hmm.
while I was at my lowest, he kept reminding me of who I was
Mm-hmm.
and kept empowering me in that, held me accountable. We cannot, Latricia, do this life alone.
Mm-hmm.
We will die trying.
Mm-hmm.
We need people, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, there's a part of you that will spiritually die. You need a community of people that
Mm-hmm.
surrounds you. They know you. Listen, for me, I need people that know how to pray. I need people. I'm just gonna be honest. I
Right.
need people who know how to speak life in me when I can't
Mm-hmm.
speak life in myself. So
Right.
all of those things shape who I am. You know,
Mm-hmm.
holding me accountable, all those things you need. And I tell you, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I said that maybe 2 or 3 times tonight, but it's what you said, and I'll just paraphrase it. Like, I'm just reminded, um,
Mm-hmm.
money can't buy this stuff. Money,
Right.
money can't buy this stuff. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Awesome. So
Mhm.
I know that you do quite a few things, and I did not hear you mention. So of course, I'm going to bring it up because you said nothing at all about being a director of a short film
I
and producer. I mean, so what was? Come on now.
Well, first of all, I'm with you. I'm shocked too. So I'm not gonna front. I was
Uh-huh.
just listen, it came back to, I was just literally, this idea came,
Uh-huh.
and I'm always looking for ways, or most of the time looking for creative ways to
Mm-hmm.
share the gospel.
Right.
And I start looking at my own life and start looking at the lives of the people that I got to meet, and I start
Mm-hmm.
thinking, like, you know what, I want to tell a story. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've been eyeing this producer for years. For another thing that you'll notice about me, I used to years ago as a young woman, but I don't move quick.
Uh-huh.
I like to kind of stand and watch, like, so I've been watching. I like, and then when it's time
Gotta
to make
size
my
up.
move, I'm like, yes, let's do it. So there's this
Uh-huh.
producer I was watching for years. I was watching his work, watching how he was moving, and just watching him, and him
Mm-hmm.
artistically and all these things. And that was years ago. And I knew then, one thing about God, he decides, and I'm not going to hold this long, but he decides
Mm-hmm.
when to share with you. Like, in other words, I knew years ago I would be working with a producer. It's like I felt
Yes.
like God gave me a glimpse. Where
Yeah.
I'm going here. I
Yeah.
knew I would be, but I didn't know what.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make it happen years ago in myself. Like, so I even called him, hey, let's, then I thought, and the Lord was like, no one told you to call him, And I just felt like it was time. God had given
Mm-hmm.
me the okay. So we set up
Mm-hmm.
a business meeting. I shared the vision with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't go into detail, but I will tell you this. it was like, it wasn't like God was in the meeting through and
Mhm.
through. And next
Mhm.
thing you know, this short film, you were there for the premiere. Come on, you were,
Yes.
oh my
Yes.
goodness.
It was awesome. Yes.
Um, and it was crazy. And the short film is called Beyond the Shadows. And we
Uh-huh.
submitted it. We submitted to an international film festival because
Mhm.
we believed in what the Lord had given us. And next
Right.
thing you know, the International Film Festival calls us and is like, hey,
Yeah.
congratulations, you've been selected. And I'm over here like, what just happened? Like, what do
Yes.
we do? We were both like, what do we do? And you've been officially
Yes.
selected for the International Film Festival. And our film is
Congratulations.
being, thank you. And
Yes.
our film was in a category with a Switzerland filmmaker. Like, what? Listen,
Yeah.
anybody on this call that's listening to me, trust the Lord. Listen,
Mhm.
he knows what he's doing. He knows the plans that he
Mhm.
has for you. You gotta trust him. I mean, even when it looks crazy, you gotta trust him.
Mhm.
It may look risky, but if he's called you to it, you gotta trust him. Like I am learning, you have to trust him. And
Mhm.
did we have obstacles? Absolutely. Did we have things that came up? Absolutely. But
Mhm.
nothing was going to stop the will of God. That's the key.
Right.
Nothing
Right.
was going to stop this film. And then we have the premiere and the whole audience is crying. One of my favorite moments is my brother sitting beside me, and I will never forget this moment. I turned to my brother, and the whole audience was quiet, and it was dark in the room. So I turned to him and said,
Yeah.
whisper and say, "Why is nobody saying anything? I don't know. This is my first film." He
Right. Yeah.
turns to me. He turns to me with tears in his eyes. Did you just see the same film I saw? I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Right.
So he was just, he was emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't, it's surreal, Latricia. It's
Yeah.
surreal. And
Yes.
so, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, we're not going to get off here without you speaking of like all of the great things that you have done. And that was this year. So like with you saying this year has been great, it has been great. And we're knowing
Mhm,
continued greatness.
mhm.
And that it has the opportunity to continue to touch lives and do all of the
Yeah.
things that it was supposed to do because you got the okay. So now you just kind of sit back, okay, God, all right, let's see.
I literally said to the Lord, okay, so what's next on the agenda?
Right.
But I wanna say this to those that are watching that are new to the faith. Um, hearing me talking about this looks like it's all glamorous, but the reality or
Hmm.
the truth of it is like there's a lot of pressing that I had to do this year. There there
Yeah.
there was a lot of tears this year. There was a
Hmm.
lot of times of uncertainty this year. There was
Hmm.
a times where um, the film called for this amount of money, but my
Hmm.
bank
Hmm.
account looked different. So I don't want to, and I say that because when I speak, I'm always thinking about those who are new to the faith and
Hmm.
how am I helping shape them in their walk with the Lord, right? And I don't want to
Hmm.
set this up as if though everything went peachy, but there was a trusting, that I had to
Hmm.
surrender to.
Hmm.
And there was encouragement from people that knew me. I had to be
Hmm.
intentional about my own prayer life. I had to be
Right.
intentional about my own focus. There are
Hmm.
times where I had to keep moving forward while crying, moving forward
Right. Hmm.
and so, but God, and that's not just a cliche.
Yeah.
But God, He. So all that I accomplished this year was through the work of the Spirit and because of grace of the Lord. And when I
Hmm.
look back on it, those that closely know me know hands down was nothing but the Lord. And so
Hmm.
my message to those that are watching and will watch, He did it for me. Trust Him,
Hmm.
and He will accomplish His will through you.
Hmm.
Whatever He has planned for your life, uh, nothing can stop it, and it's
Right.
all be for His glory. But will there be suffering in the midst? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But the reward, the reward of
Mm-hmm.
knowing him and how the glory went all to him, you can't beat it. You just can't beat it.
I often look at some of these moments, and we do get the moments of the having to surrender and being more present. But I think like one of the things that I've learned as moving through is to always remember, because if you remember all that God is, you don't have to stay in the moments as long.
Mm.
You know,
Mhm,
it's just the
mhm,
but it's like the flesh is being fleshy. So
mhm,
um
mhm,
so it's just like, but you get these opportunities. I think sometimes we get to see where we are. We get to
mhm,
see whether, are we going to still respond the same way? Are we still going to this, that, and the other? Or there are also the layers that need to be off. And
mhm,
sometimes you don't get a chance to get the layers off until you have these experiences. I think of
mhm,
when you started and you said for how long you dealt with. And so
mm,
there are so many other tears that hadn't been cried. There were so many things that you packed and put places. And there were so many things that, not saying you by yourself, but you, me, and a whole lot of other people have these things that
mhm,
we do to cope. And
mhm,
then we get these opportunities of purging, of healing, because since such great things are in you to do for God, you know,
mhm, mhm,
there's no room for all of the old stuff that we didn't deal with. So we do get this kind of clearing, personal baptism time, whatever you want to
mhm,
call it, that as we're moving through, that we're lightening our load in some kind of way as we're moving through that. The things that show up are the things that can be like, oh wow, I don't know. There's a time that I cried and I didn't know what the heck I was crying for, but then I thought about
mhm,
it. There are so many times I didn't cry. So who
mhm,
cares what it is this time? It was something that was like on
mhm,
hold, that needed to be
mm.
released so that I can embrace what else was coming. So,
The best thing we could do, the
hmm
best thing we could do is to keep moving forward and show up. Keep showing up. Just
right.
keep showing up.
Yes.
Just keep showing up.
Yes.
Just keep showing up. I, every day we wake up in the morning, uh, just I don't know, just embrace each day,
hmm
but
hmm
just keep showing up. There are times where all I could do was just show up.
Yes.
That's all I could do. I didn't know which way to go. I didn't know what, but I had enough in me to keep
To
showing
show
up. And
up.
I remember thinking, like, you know what, Lord, if I got to crawl, I'm going to keep moving forward, even if I'm crawling doing so.
hmm
Don't you dare! I tell people, don't you dare shrink back. Don't you dare give up. Don't you?
hmm
My grandfather used to say, don't you dare give up on God.
Right.
And so and those are simple words, and I maybe as a kid I didn't understand it, but
But
I
it's a,
understand it more so. Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, just keep showing up, keep showing up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, is there anything that you would like to promote or a word of encouragement? Listen, I was very intentional of also wearing, I have several bracelets on, but I remember that I got this one, you know?
Listen, I went to a women's gathering, spoke,
Uh-huh.
and I brought a handful of bracelets. I don't promote well. I
Yeah.
struggle
That's
with
why I'm making
promoting.
sure that you get an opportunity to. Yes.
I don't promote well. I struggle with that. I never want it to be about me. And my brother was like, "Well, how are they going to know if you don't tell them?"
Right.
Well, listen, on our website, strongboldfearless.org, we
Uh-huh.
have a merch line, and it's not just a merch line for me. And I don't have a promotional speech. I really don't.
You don't, yeah.
We have everything from hoodies to yeah, hoodies and t-shirts. And every time a person purchases those, it goes back into our ministry and it helps
Mm-hmm.
us to continue with travel. We are gearing up for Africa. We've made we've made connections in
Uh-huh.
Africa. And yeah, we're headed back. This was my third time going
Nice. Uh-huh.
And so every time someone purchases something, two things happen. It helps us continue in the work, but it also reminds you
Mm-hmm.
of to be strong, be bold, be fearless,
Mm-hmm.
embracing courage and
Mm-hmm.
confronting fear, moving forward in spite of. And so, if anyone is interested in going to the website and buying that, then and I'll post it in the next coming days on my Facebook. You see how I'm struggling with this, right? But anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
going to
you but
post this.
practice makes perfect.
I
Listen,
know, so I'm
you're
practicing with
listen.
you guys. Yeah. So anyway, we're on Facebook as well, so I'll post something, and it's a great Christmas gift, and we have bracelets and all that stuff. I'm gonna be quiet because it's so uncomfortable for me. But yes, that's we have
But you
that.
did it.
I
And
did it. I
listen,
know. And listen,
yeah,
it's stepping outside the comfort zone, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Mhm.
you're being bold, you're being fearless, you're being courageous.
Yes.
Like you're being strong. You're doing it. So you're doing
Listen,
it. Uh-huh.
with that being said, this is a daily walk, right? It's a daily, this is a
Yes, we're
daily
gonna say it.
walk. I am walking this out daily. Even taking this
Right.
interview with you, I
Yes.
have to confess to you. I
Uh-huh.
told I told a dear friend of mine, I said, "Oh no, I said yes to this podcast. What have I done?"
You know, you know what you did? You showed up.
Oh, come on. Don't you
Yeah.
don't you Yeah, because I remember actually struggle with things like this. I am a behind the scenes person, no
Uh-huh.
cameras, no, but this is good. This is good training for me. There are more to come, I believe. So thank
Yes,
you
I am
for
so certain.
allowing me to talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jacqueline stated that she has her mustard seed bracelet, and of course, your brother said that he seems like he says your brother seems like a wise man. Gotta love it as well. Yes, so
All
I
right.
just want to thank you for
Mhm.
coming. This is something that I started the top of the year, and I've had some beautiful conversations with some wonderful people. And I just hope that by everyone kind of sharing a bit of their story, that it's helpful to someone
Mhm.
else, because you just never know,
Yeah.
and you never know. Like there's always things that we get to learn about people that we think we know.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
like this gives you that opportunity, and yes, I'm excited. I want to say thank you. This has been
Thank you.
wonderful. um, yeah, anybody have any comments or anything before we come to a close, or if you would like to say anything before we come to a close?
Well, my brother should not have anything else to say. He has said it all.
Well, Jacqueline said great job, Tiffany.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Latricia, thank you so much for having me on this call. It was fun. It was
Thank
relaxing.
you.
It's such a good, feel good conversation. I really do appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate you saying yes. Wikes, uh, Shay Hayes. I'm not sure. I'm no, I'm probably done messed that up. But they
Okay.
said, "Amen. Just show up. Proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone, Tiffany."
Thank
And
you.
Ajane said, "This was awesome and great job." So,
Oh, now I see Audrey tomorrow on discipleship. She knows I'm a crybaby, but I've kept all the
oh,
tears back
Waukesha
tonight.
Hayes. Okay, I'm sorry, Waukesha Hayes.
Oh,
Yes,
Waukesha. Oh my
I
goodness.
was doing too
She's
much.
in the
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the discipleship Bible sessions Tuesday night. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so you have a
Yeah.
lot of support. So I thank you all for joining. Um, um, like I said, I've been doing this bi-weekly. I'm looking forward for, oh, thank you, Jacqueline. I'm looking forward to next year and lining up people. So if anyone has any suggestions or anything, or would like to be on, and it's pretty much the same questions, unless there's something that people like to promote. But I just think that having conversations is I
Yeah.
don't know, just makes the world feel good, especially in
Yes.
a time
Yes.
like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right, so we're going to close out and we're going to say thank you, knowing that all is well. We thank God for being present, because whenever a few are together, we're in the name of God. So,
Mhm.
Amen.
Well, Latricia, we speak blessings over your endeavor. Thank you for opening up your life as well and sharing your space. And so I know that those that are on a call will stand in agreement as we speak blessings, and we pray that God open doors because we know that you will give him the glory. And yes, things like this is needed. So we'll continue to lift you up in prayer. And
Yeah.
we're looking to see much more to come from you and your business. Root of the matter. That's good because Jesus dealt with the heart of things. But we're gonna go because I'm not gonna get started.
Hey, say, look, you're getting in your sweet spot after an hour, huh?
Oh, listen, don't you hit that sweet spot because Waukesha, my brother, and they know once you hit that sweet spot, I'm gone. Listen, so we're gonna call it a night before I get up here and start preaching. We're just gonna call it a night.
And we can always do again next year. We're always open because I'm sure there will be some other things that continue to flourish for you. So I'm excited
Yes.
about everything that is to come.
Thank you
So
so much.
yes, thank you,
All right.
and thank
Thank you.
everyone for joining. And I will be sending the link and everything. And you all have a wonderful night. And once again, thank you, and
Thank you
peace and
so
blessings.
much.
All right, good night.
Good night.